Alright.
Really?
We have the frontal bone of the cranial bones of the skull. Frontal bone and frontal sinus is in this area and would be tested on this skull to see it right. And then going to the parietal bone, which is located in the back of the skull, has two structures, the coronal suture and the sagittal suture. On the temporal bone, we have 5 structures we need to be aware of. We need to be aware of the squamosal suture. We need to be aware of the mandibular fossa, which is this process or this fossa right here that allows the mandible bone to connect.
What is it?
Maxillary? With the mandibular. With the mandibular process. Or mandibular condyle, excuse me. And then we have the external auditorial meatus, which is this bone right there, that hole, I should say. And that hole comes out of...
That's your ear, right?
Yeah, that's the internal auditorial meatus.
So internal and external together.
Our acoustic meatus, auditorial meatus, and then we have our zygomatic process that connects the zygomatic bone to the temporal bone, and the zygomatic process is found on the temporal bone. On the sphenoid bone, found on this model, it has 2 wings, which we don't need to know, but we do need to know that this wing and this wing with this makes the sphenoid bone. And we need to know the structure called the sella turcica. Sella, S-E-L-L-A, turcica, T-U-R-C-I-C-A.
Yeah, you're the one who's correcting the
And optical foramen or optical canal is these 2 little holes, which allow the optical nerve to pass through to the brain. Our ethmoid bone is this area right here, found on this skull, and
in other words, back of the nasal.
Inside of the nasal bone, right here. Can't really process, but it's right there, and that makes up, coming up for the nasal concha. Concha. Or nasal concha.
Oh, the little conchas are bomb. I forgot about those. I haven't had those in years.
Nasal bone. Well, nasal concha, and we have a cribriform plate that is only found on this model, and it's this plate or bone right here, or structure of the ethmoid bone. And we have it's actually not the cribriform plate. That is the perpendicular plate. A cribriform plate is right here, and that is proximal to the crista galli, which is this beak-like structure right here.
The chicken beak.
Chicken beak. And our ethmoid sinus is the hole made by the actual ethmoid bone, and that is this hole right here. That hole.
That's the ethmoid bone, right? The perpendicular plate.
Perpendicular plate, yeah. Found on this one. And on our occipital bone, has 3 structures we need to be aware of. The occipital condyle, which is these 2 processes or 2 structures on the bone, proximal to the next structure, which is the foramen magnum, or large hole, on the occipital bone, and the lambdoid suture, which would be found more, or lambdoidal suture, which is this suture, lambdoidal suture, lamb and doid. As far as the nasal concha I'm not too sure where the nasal concha is. So might be.
Is there another word for nasal concha? It's concha. Yeah.
Well, nasal concha. I think nasal concha would be this bone located right here, connecting the ethmoid bone to the sphenoid bone. No, the ethmoid bone to the nasal bone. Ethmoid bone to the nasal bone.